Hi guys, so thank you for purchasing the Clear Cube by PropDog. So you will now have hopefully opened up your Clear Cube and you have seen this. If you want to comment in, we'll talk a little bit about the Clear Cube, what it is, and the ideas behind it. So I've always thought that there should be a routine or an ending to a routine of a Rubik's Cube. Most of the time it just finishes with, oh, I've solved it. But I thought there's got to be something better, and I've loved OmniDeck for years, and I thought OmniDeck is the way ahead. So we made dozens of prototypes until we came up with this beautiful little work of art, which is just a beautiful ornamental piece on its own. But in order to be able to switch it, I thought you need something extra. So we come up with the idea of the shell, having a shell that will go over the top so that you could hold it in your hands like that, place it into a spectator's hands, cover it, and then move away to find the cube in your hand, the Clear Cube in your hand. So the shell. We could have invested a lot of money in a really nice, posh, fancy shell, but that would have added a huge price on to the actual cube itself. And we wanted to keep the price down, so we went with a simple, cheap 3D printing method. Okay, that keeps the price right down because it doesn't need to be seen very often. So when you're using this in a performance, you are literally only going to see this for a couple of seconds when you bring it out, put it into view and cover it up. Okay, and if it's only going to be seen for a couple of seconds, we don't need to have a really fancy shell. That is why we have a nice little 3D printed shell there. Now we had loads of ideas for shells. First of all, I just come up with a completely flat version like that will go over it, but it was too difficult to keep in place. So now I thought of a method of just having maybe 2 corners or 3 corners or whatever, so we could just hold it on and just slide it off. But the best method was quite simply 4 corners that slots straight over the top like that. And to remove it, you're just going to hold your hand and just kind of palm it off like so. I did think of putting a little notch on there so that you could cover it and then come over and you've got something to palm off like that, but it just didn't really feel the need to do it. It was so simple just to put it on top like that, and then you can pull it off quite simply. So let's start off first of all with putting the stickers onto the cube, okay? Sorry, the stickers onto the shell, should I say. Now, if you look on the shell here, you will see some slight marks. Now, when you 3D print these, we can either 3D print it this way or this way. If we print it this way, we have to build up an edge inside here, and building up an edge inside means we've got to hollow all that out, carve it out. It's extra time, it looks messy inside. So the best way for us to print it was not that way, but this way. The downside with that is you do get the flat edge where it was resting on the bed like that. If you print it the other way, we do get a lovely top over there, nice sort of posh finish if you like, but then the underside, as you see, just looks messy as heck. So this is the way it's going to be, and to put the stickers on, you will find you'll get a whole load of stickers with it like this. There should be plenty enough to make up the shell and change your mind as many times as you like. Now you could just peel the stickers off and simply place them on like this with your hand, but I find that really awkward to do. So I found the best way to do it was to use a scalpel. Okay, so I just find a little scalpel, I pull it off the scalpel like this. There we are, and that allows me to be able to locate it perfectly central in the cube, and then just press down and pull off. If you don't have a scalpel, just a knife will do, a kitchen knife or a pen knife like this. It works exactly the same. So just put your knife under, pull it off. That allows you to place it perfectly in the center look, and when you're ready, when you're happy, just touch down and let it go like that. So cover your shell with as many stickers as you want and whatever options you want, just like that. And when you finish, you will have a nice shell just like that. So you'll also notice that with it you get the cube holder. This is a Jerry O'Connell Rubik's Cube holder, which is perfect for holding the cube just like that. It's got a nice soft velvet inside, so it will hold it nice and sturdy, but also stop it from scratching or getting marked in any way. And to put that on, it's very simple. You do need a belt with it. We did try one with a belt clip, it just didn't work as well. The belt clip kind of clipped over that way, it was just a bit loose and wobbly. The actual belt loop worked a lot better. So you just can take your belt off, thread it through, and then put your belt back on. Quite simple, quite straightforward. And that will just sit nicely there and allow you to hold your cube in place like that. Now this is quite important later when you're going to be performing for a way to get it, because I like to hold the Rubik's Cube shell on top of like that when it's ready, when it's there ready to go, so I can immediately reach through at any point, grab it, and I'm there with a cube ready to switch. So how do you use it? Well, it's quite simple. I mean, there are many methods of performing this. Most of it is going to be down to your imagination, but I'm going to show you first of all the routine that I came up with initially with it. I mean, loads of people have come up with other routines since, but this is the initial handling that I thought of when I created the Clear Cube. Okay, so the idea will be that will be on your back over there, and this will be on top as well. Now, I wouldn't recommend carrying this around in your gig from table to table like this, because at some point you probably will just knock it like that and it will fall off, okay? So what I recommend you doing is having that in your pocket, and just before you're about to get ready, just take it out like that, just reach around, feel it, and clip it on top like that. And this will be under your jacket if you've got a jacket on. If not, you want to have a jumper maybe just kind of covered over like that so it's out of sight. People have seen you do a Rubik's Cube routine anyway, so they're not going to think anything weird about you having a Rubik's Cube side bulge over there. They know you're a performer with a cube. So you're doing your Rubik's Cube routine, and now you want to have a finishing to it. So my initial thoughts were, in fact, we'll get a real Rubik's Cube. So here I am, as if by magic, in a jacket, and I'm ready to go at my booking of I'm at a table. I've done some magic already. I'm going to go into my Rubik's Cube routine, or if you're on stage with somebody, or whatever situation you're in, if you're out on the streets, and you're going to do your Rubik's Cube routine. So I will take my shell and put that into my pocket, take the cube, put that into the holder, and that would sit just nicely out of sight. If I don't get my t-shirt stuck in it, there we are. And you're going to do your routine. Now, I must point out first of all as well, the shell, if you finish your Rubik's Cube routine with a mixed pattern, have a mixed pattern on here. If you finish it with a solved cube, which you most likely will, have a solved pattern on there. That's quite important. So I'm ready to form now. I'm going to go in, take my shell, and now I'm going to put it onto the cube like that. Now I'm ready to go. It's not going to fall off if I'm walking around too much. And I do my routine. Once the routine is over, I'm waiting for the moment that the kind of pause when everyone thinks the routine is over. So I take my applause, thank you very much, thank you. That'll just simply go into my pocket like that as I reach through, and then pull out the cube like this. And I'm just sitting here maybe talking to somebody saying thank you very much, hope you enjoyed that. In fact, let's show you one last thing. And then I'm just going to come up like this. I'm just going to relax and hold the cube like this. And I'm just holding it in such a way as that they can see the face, but no one's looking at the cube. The routine's over. They think that's it. So I say one last thing, and then I ask them to hold out their hand like this. Now we're just going to film this from a different angle. So here we are from another angle, and I have the cube in my hand ready to go just here. It's relaxed down by my side. You don't need to be too tense about it. And I'm going to ask the spectator for his right hand. I'm asking for the right hand because I have the cube in my right hand. And the reason is I'm going to use my left arm as cover to grab his left arm. Okay, so I ask for his right hand. I then bring the cube up like this. Now from his angle, he's seeing the back of the hand over here, and he's seeing the face of the cube. Okay, he has no reason to suspect it's not a Rubik's Cube. And then I reach over to his left hand and I say, can I borrow your left hand like this? Now look at my arm here. It's covering Mike's view. This is Mike, by the way, covering Mike's view perfectly. He can't see a thing. I'm then going to grab his hand, and I'm not going to let him put it on top himself, because if he puts it on top himself, I then have to reposition my hand on top underneath his to try and grab the shell, and it's awkward. So I'm going to grab his hand like this, and as it gets to here, I'm going to reposition my hand to be on top of the shell like this, so that I can then remove the shell and then place his hand on top, and at no point can he see that cube. The shell is now in my right hand, and I'll either grab his right hand like this, or I'll grab his hand underneath. I prefer to grab it underneath like that, hiding the shell under his hand, and then I say on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, the colours have vanished, or the cube has vanished, or whatever handling or whatever words you want to put into the routine. And then as I move my hand away, I'm simply going to turn my hand downwards to hide it, and he's left there with the shell like that. So once one more time, this is held here. I say, can I borrow your right hand? Perfect. Can I now use your left hand? Perfect. That goes over there. I move the shell out the way, put it underneath, and here's a good little routine for you. You can say, think of a colour, any colour on a Rubik's Cube.
Red.
Red. Okay, have you got red? Now I'm going to move my hands away. I say keep holding tight. Move my hands away. I can relax by my side. He still doesn't know it's there. A couple of seconds, I can say watch. Red.
Red.
Wouldn't it be impressive if the red side was up?
It would.
I'm not that good. Have a look. And that's a little way you could use it. I mean, there are tons and tons of different ways of using this. It's just got to be up to you. So that's the handling of the cube when you're kind of one-on-one. There are a few other ways as well. So we're now going to go back to the desk and show you some other methods. So yeah, there are loads of other ways of using it. Because the cube is exactly, and I mean exactly the same size as standard Rubik's Cube, it means any shell from any other routine, for example Rubicon, will fit over it perfectly. So if we get, for example, the Rubicon shell, you'll see that fits over perfect like that. So you've got a shell, in some ways you can show like that, in 360, obviously you can't show it like that. And there's another shell that comes with Rubik's Dream, the 360 edition. And again, you can use this as you like that. That goes in there, and that goes in there like that. And of course, you will have stickers on it. So you could, for example, have this in a bag. So you put it into a bag like that, and you have another cube in a bag. And you can have one that's solved and one that's not solved. And you can say to them, look, I've got 2 cubes over here. I'm going to put them into this bag like so, okay? And then as you put it in the bag like that, you just kind of move the shell over like that. And then you say to them, think of a cube, the solved one or the unsolved one. Which one do you want? And it doesn't matter which one they want, because all you've got to do is you can bring out this cube like that inside the bag, show that one, and then say, well, you have a look at the one that's remaining in the bag, and they open it that way. Or you can do it if you do Stephen Brundage's amazing Cube 3, you can do it that way, in that you show an unsolved cube and you put it into the bag, and then you do the solve and you bring out a solved cube in a bag. So they've seen an unsolved and a solved, and you say name one, and whichever one they name, you pull out the regular one, and then you can leave them with the clear cube in there. So what else can you do with a clear cube? There are loads of routines. People have been sending me loads of videos of different moves. Josh Janowski has a nice one with a kind of black art. He has a black table, and he has some kind of I think it's a 5-sided shell, and basically as he drops it, the shell springs open, and you go from a cube to a clear cube like that. It's quite impressive. There's another move, Tom Crosby does a nice little move. You may have seen that on the trailer, where he does almost like a dove vanish. So he'll have a cube like that, and he'll go 1, 2, 3, and then bring up the solved, the clear cube, should I say, like that. Don't do that at a table, by the way. It's not very good. You end up with cubes all over the floor. Yeah, there's some fancy moves you can do that involve the shell. So if you take the shell and you can just break off a few of the sides like this. There we go. And now you have a nice cube that you can manipulate really easy. So you can kind of hold it in place. This is a Cameroni kind of effect. Okay, and you're just going to kind of oops, it says. You're going to come up like this, and you're going to do a kind of move like that, where you're almost, it's kind of like a pass, I guess. So I haven't really practiced this move over here, but there are lots of things like that you could do, or you could kind of do it in reverse, where you come back up there, and you turn it into a cube or something. You'll get the idea. Just play around with it. You can buy spare shells from us. They're $10.99 for a new shell. You can buy new stickers as well. We buy replacement stickers if you need it. We also sell replacement, well, not replacement, we sell cube holders, but it would be a kind of replacement if you should need it. So that is the basic instruction video for the clear cube. I'm sure you'll have lots of fun with it and come up with lots of ideas how you can use it in your routine. Thanks for watching.